Hey Virgo, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading, general reading. So take what works, leave what does not work or doesn't make sense for you. Feel free to check your other major placements if you want. And we'll be doing oracle cards over here on YouTube. And if you connect with that and you so choose, you can head over to Vimeo and join me for a more traditional tarot spread, usually a continuation of the story. Sometimes not. Also, I've been thinking about it, and I'm told that I'm supposed to tell you to subscribe. And if I don't tell you to subscribe, you won't subscribe. But I feel weird about it, and honestly, it just doesn't work for me. So I'm going to tell you to subscribe or not subscribe or even unsubscribe if you want. I'll be fine any way you choose. You'll be fine any way you choose. It's fairly inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. So do what you please. All right, fascinating. Okay, first off, we have transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. I love this card. You're not who you were a year ago. You've changed so much since last year, and you're in the process of change. You're not complete. You're not done yet. Who is? We have this sort of wildness within you, this untamable piece within you that may be becoming more prominent now, something a little more organic. There's a sense of, I feel like there's a sense of destiny here, like you're meant to change this way. It's always been written in your DNA. It's always been written in who you are at a very fundamental level. Even though we're saying you're changing, I feel like you're actually getting closer to a deeper, more fundamental sense of your own destiny and of who you are. You are healing old patterns, and I believe you're becoming more yourself than ever before. So, but I do feel like becoming ourselves is a bit of a moving target. And there are so many selves within us. I think it was Whitman that said, like, I contain multitudes. So there's so many selves within us that can come up and bubble up to the surface and have their moment in our lives. So some parts of you are going to be a phase that you go through, and other parts are with you forever and are just a fundamental aspect of who you are, and it's not going to be changing anytime soon. So this could be another aspect of yourself. It's true, just as true as some old aspect of yourself is. This true aspect is coming up as well. So that old aspect was also you, but it was you for a different time, you in a different place. These aspects that you're seeing and that are emerging now are also you. So you weren't being false or fake. If you were to continue to be that old person, you would be being false and fake. But you were that person, and this is what you wanted. That is who you wanted to be, and that was likely, I mean, I don't know you personally, but likely a genuine expression of who you were in that moment. Moments changed, moved on. You have a new truth of yourself, a new truth within you to express, and that's coming out, that new truth. So I don't want to say, just because we changed doesn't mean our old self was false or untrue. We were being true to who we were in the moment, hopefully, but now we're being true to who we are in this moment. This is also a truth about us, also part of ourself. It's just another aspect. Just like the whole night sky, we can't look at it all at once. We focus on certain places, right? I'm seeing a lot of night sky in this one, even though you're not, I am. So there's different constellations. There's different, and just because it looks different from one side doesn't mean that the other side was wrong and your old self was wrong and your old self was false. It was an expression of who you were then. You're changing. A new aspect of yourself is beginning to emerge. That aspect's always been there. It's not like there's a whole, right, we can say like, oh, we discovered a new star. We discovered the new star. The new star's been there for quite some time, but we discovered the new star. So you might be discovering a new aspect of yourself to focus on and shift and change. You're multifaceted. So you could live a million years and still have aspect. I don't know. I'm not that old, but I'm imagining that you could live a million years and still have all sorts of facets and aspects and interactions and interconnections within the universe within that you can focus on. So there's a new, also true aspect of yourself. It does remind me of satellites sort of they're always constantly falling towards Earth, but somehow that is what keeps them in orbit. So, so we're always headed towards the gravity of truth, but that also almost in some ways keeps us away from it, but it also keeps us moving and in orbit, because we're always, as long as we're moving towards a truer truth. So people call it like an onion, but I don't necessarily see it as layers. I see it as sort of a multiverse onion. So anyway, some new aspect of you, new to you aspect that maybe you have left unexplored, but is still true, still part of your DNA, just still part of your makeup and who you are, is coming forward. There is also another message here of you are deeply loved even as you are changing. So, you know, if everyone's has equal worth, if everyone is lovable as is, so are you in all of your little facets and all the iterations of Virgo and all of the aspects of Virgo. You're lovable in each one, right? We can change and be totally different people and still be lovable, just like someone who's very different from me is still lovable and still has worth and value. Someone who's very different than you were before still is lovable and has full value as well, right? We don't change the value just because we're changing. So that seems to be an important part of this message here. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So this is your intuition. This one always has like a repeated message that keeps coming up. There's some sort of repetition in the universe, a repeated message that's trying to get your attention by shoving itself in your face over and over again. So there's a phrase like, the universe is going to keep teaching you this lesson until you learn it. That always sounds very like abusive school teacher of the universe. You're going to learn this lesson, you're going to stay in recess until you get it. Oh yeah, some great memories coming up here. So for me, but that's not how the universe intends that. That's not really, it's more like, don't worry, if you forget, that lesson's unfortunately going to come back and be right there for you again. If you forget how to do this, or you forget the lessons that you've learned so far, do not worry. It's sitting here right here. It's not going to let you forget, because it's the consequences of your actions are always going to be there. So a repeated pattern, I guess, is what I'm getting at here. A lesson that repeats, something that's trying to get your attention over and over and over again. And so there's a niggle, but it's in the background. You have to pay. You're responsible for paying attention to it. Like, the universe is going to give you the message. You're the one that's responsible for getting it, hearing it, listening to your intuition. There's just maybe I should do that. Well, that can keep us at that kind of, maybe we've got 1,000, right? We've got 1,000,000 entities within us, right? We've got multitudes within us and all these facets. So which one are we going to listen to, or whatever? This one's, I'm asking, so we can't pay attention to all of them all the time because we are finite. So this one is talking about something, though, that is trying to grab your attention. So becoming more sensitive, listening for that thing, and trying to intentionally listen for that. And then we have new moon in Aries. It's time to take action. It's a new moon, though, so you don't know what the consequences are, you don't know what the results are, and this is probably a totally different thing for you. So it's new. Aries, go for it, ram through, do it. It's time to take action. You'll know what the action is, and it could relate to you being a new person or transforming and changing. So if you've changed, your circumstances are going to start changing. If you're listening to this niggle, you've got to make some changes in reality. So if this has all been internal, it's time to start having it be external. Some of this can be external too, but if this is the case, then it's time to actually do something. Aries is always about reality. It's sort of our Emperor card. It's sort of about time to take action. So whenever I see time in those Moonology cards, it is like, it's time. Like, usually it's like, oh, we're headed towards this nebulous place. I don't know. But this is definitely like, now's the time. If you have a hunch about something, take movement on it now. Okay. So this is the main card. I was feeling, this seems like the main card to me. Observation, something you're watching, maybe watching your own growth, maybe watching your own intuition, watching, observing, maybe observing through social media, right? She is looking through sort of a screen. We have a camera here. So there is a sense of watching. There is a sense of getting ideas, a passive thinking time. This is really funny. It's time to take action. And then we have sort of this passive action. Maybe you've been the observer. Maybe you've been watching something. And you've watched something, or maybe it's time to watch something. But action, she's not taking action. There's your intuition there again, kind of faint, kind of in the background, like you need to be, there's something here for you. There's a reason why you're watching and looking. There's a reason why you're studying something. You're getting lots of ideas on it that will eventually have their place in reality, but there is a sense of you're watching something. Your intuition has you here. I mean, you don't know why you're watching it yet, why you're observing this yet, but I think the purpose is to generate some ideas for further action. You're very committed to this, though. You're not like, you're watching something. You're very closely observing. Focused attention. And you may not even know why you're so focused on this. This is like getting a little bit obsessed about something and then having it like show up, and the opportunity to engage with it show up later. And you're like, oh, wow, I had no idea that was coming. But good thing I watched like 12 videos on how to dock a boat. For some reason, I thought that was really interesting on YouTube last night. So, and now here I am on a boat, and the captain's passed out, and I've got to dock this thing. Well, good thing I for whatever reason, watched this. So I think that's part of that niggle. Your intuition's leading you to kind of get obsessed with something or really focus on something. And you maybe don't know why yet, but it's going to have real world ramifications. We have pure nature. This is growth, irreversible growth. So we can't put the flower back in the bud. This is adolescence. You can't, once you've developed into a reproducing adult, or the reproducible adult, you can't go back to your childhood. You can't go back to who you were before, to the childlike body, to the childlike focuses that you had before. So pure nature, I think it's relating. Oh, yes, it is relating to this transformation absolutely and completely. Like once you've seen this truth about yourself, once this aspect of you has emerged and blossomed, you can't go back to a more, I want to say tightly wound or closed off person. Once you open up to this, once you change and once you transform, you can't go back. But this is always part of your destiny. Anyone from the outside looking in sees this bud and understands that this is what we're looking for. This is what's going to happen next, right? This transformation, this change from this bud to this full-fledged flower. We know that that's going to happen. We look at a child, we know puberty is going to hit. We look at a bud, we know it has to bloom. This is an inevitable transformation that you're going on. And like I was saying before, there's a sense of destiny about this. There's a sense of unstoppability to this. Like this is part of who you are, and it must emerge. It must emerge. It has this edict to bloom, to emerge, to like this whole flower thing. Yeah. And then at some point this flower is going to be a seed. This is the life path of the flower. So there's something unfolding here that just has a sense of destiny. You can't go back to what you were before. That was true, right? This bud isn't a lie. This bud's true. This bud's real. Just because it changes doesn't mean what was before was a lie or wasn't true or wasn't real. This is real also, right? And we've changed and we can't go back to who we were before. Try as you might, uncomfortable as this might make you. So there's some sort of change and transformation. You're only partway there though. I think more has to happen, and there's something that's good. There's some sort of intuition you have, something that's got you a little obsessed. There's a reason for this obsession. You're going to know it eventually. But if there's something that's calling calling you, and you don't know why, you need to be focused on that and remain with that, because it has something, there's going to be some sort of real world reason that's going to emerge as to why your intuition asked you to pay attention to that. We also have Elixir of Life. Again, paying close attention to your body, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, making sure that you're enjoying moments, because life has so much difficulty it throws at us, even through our bodies. Right, our bodies don't always feel good. They can often be sources of pain and suffering. So this to me is very much caring for your body, caring for the pleasures of your body, making sure that your body is a source of pleasure, not just pain, because pain's going to be inevitable, and sometimes pleasure just needs to be a choice that you make, and that you make that your focus. So focusing on things that make you feel good in your body, make you happy that you incarnated here, make you happy to be here, bring you to life, especially in this transformation, this change. Maybe you're like obsessed with like blueberries or chocolate or something, or you're watching baking shows or something and you don't know why, but it's because maybe there's an inner baker in you that's trying to get out, and you're changing. All right. What do we have here? Crow. That's so funny because I didn't pull the crow cards for you guys. Mystery, judgment, clairvoyance. Observer of birth, life, and death. Teach me creative and destructive magic. Wow. Ooh, but that clairvoyance coming through here, this focus, this thing your intuition has you focusing on that you're not, maybe you don't even know why, but trusting that whatever you're focusing on is meant for you. And there might, right, we're getting, the future is going to be different. We're getting real world ideas from something that we're focused on right now. And I think that that's part of the mystery in their clairvoyance, is that you don't understand, right? It's like this bud is sitting here watching all these flowers and like, what are they doing? How are they doing that? Well, this is what you're going to be doing, what you're partway through doing. And you're watching this because this is your path. There's something there, I'm going to say there's something a little psychic about some sort of obsession you have, like, you know, watching people dock boats, watching YouTube videos about people dock and not dock boats. And then suddenly you're in a situation where you're like, how did I know? What was that? So I think there's just something very intuitive, and roll with it right now. Yeah, making a choice to trust your intuition right now, especially about this change or some aspect. Like, who knew you had like a master boat docker held within you? You didn't know that. And then now here it comes. And this focus was part of your transformation, part of your change from someone who's never been on a boat to a master boat docker. And you didn't know. So there's something very important about something that you're focused on. You're changing. You don't know where you're going, but the universe seems to. So I would just be trusting your intuition and whatever kind of focus you have right now, rolling with it. And it's time to take action. This one's a little mysterious to me, but all right, trusting the mysterious process here, and that some sort of future focus is at work. Maybe in the background and you're unaware of it, but now you are. So, all right, Virgo, if that made sense to you, join me over on Vimeo, or not. If you just want to join me over on Vimeo, I'm not going to stop you for sure. So otherwise, we will chat again in a month. Bye.